Hello, one and all. This is WellArmedWithTacos, and welcome to a Let's Play something that I thought I would never be doing, and at the same time I knew was inevitable. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a Let's Play something on this, or if I was going to do a full Let's Play of this. It's going to just be a Let's Play something, because I really needed to play this game on my own, without it being related to the channel completely. Welcome, one and all, to Let's Play Aliens Colonial Marines. This is a game that came out in 2012. I'm playing it personally for the first time here in 2019. May 2019. As a matter of fact, you're going to be seeing this video just about a day after I've got to the halfway point in the game. I'm playing it relatively slowly, few missions a week, just taking my time with it to really kind of soak it in. For those of you that are new to my channel or otherwise need a refresher, I am a big Aliens fan. Big. Very big. I would say I'm just about as massive an Aliens fan as you can get, up to the point where you get to the freaking absolute super fans who have full cosplay costumes and modified pulse rifles and all that stuff. In terms of the lore and the universe, I'm pretty much about as strong as you can get. I'm a big Aliens fan, and more importantly to me, I'm a big Aliens vs. Predator fan. I'm much more of a fan of Aliens vs. Predator than I am of Aliens, although I like Aliens a lot. The reason I say I'm a bigger Aliens vs. Predator fan is because I love the USCM Marines. I love these guys. Well, not these guys specifically, but I like the idea of these guys, and I like all the Predator movies, save the newest one, which was a pile of rubbish. But when it comes to the Aliens franchise, I really only care for Aliens. Which isn't a big insult, because most people would go on record as saying Aliens 3 and Alien 3, not Aliens 3. That's a whole thing of itself. Whoops. Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection are widely considered to be trash. So, I mean, it's not a crazy opinion for me to say that I also believe that they are trash. They have merits. They're not completely terrible. That might piss people off just saying that, going that far. They have merits to them, but the big debate has always been between Alien and Aliens, and the most passive way. And by the way, these people are not going to go forward until I move forward, even though that guy is the guy who's actually in charge. The way people have come to pacify the debate is just to make an argument of Alien is a horror film with a little bit of action, and Aliens is an action film with a little bit of horror, and it really just depends on what you prefer. Again, something you might know about me if you're familiar with my channel, horror is my least favorite genre of all genres. I can't stand horror. For that reason, obviously, I'm a bigger Aliens fan than I am an Alien fan. The only time I can tolerate horror is when it's part of one of my favorite franchises that's glued into horror, like this series, and unfortunately Thief, which is another thing going on my channel. I, for some reason, cling to things that are horror related, even though I really hate the genre, but I can't help that. That's, again, another reason I like Aliens vs. Predator and the Aliens vs. Predator games, because you can play a Predator and you don't fear no horror, or you can play an Alien and there is no horror because you are the scary boogeyman and no one else is. Or you can play a Marine, which is, in the Aliens vs. Predator games, often considered the best campaign because it's the best laid out, because there's the most things you can do with a human character, including horror. Anyways, this has been about a 5-minute rant to explain the universe, or my attachment to the universe thereof. Now we will start moving forward on a mission I've already played through. this one. I wanted to not be distracted by the mission and be able to properly give my thoughts here. So why did it take this long? And more importantly, why am I, as a huge Aliens fan, putting myself through this? Well, the story of Aliens Colonial Marines is not a unheard one. Pretty much everybody knows of the game. Pretty much everyone knows what happened. Everyone knows about Gearbox, how they lied, blatantly lied about some of the footage of the game. Everyone knows all that stuff. Even I did.
Picking something up on my tracker.
Oh no, movement. I don't care. Everyone knows all that stuff, and I was insanely disappointed when this game came out. But I was intelligent enough to not pre-order and not purchase this game upon release, because I knew there was a million ways to have this game fail. And it turns out it failed even harder than I thought it could. It became a colossal failure, and it's still considered a huge insult to the franchise, as it should be. But we'll get to that point. So I didn't buy the game, and I waited a very, very, very long time until the right circumstances were met. The right circumstances met being the game went on sale and I had money at the time to spend on horrible things like this. And that happened recently. And so I bought it, and so here we are. Why did I want to buy it? And why are we here? I have what might be considered a strange belief that if you like a franchise and you truly, truly, truly want to dedicate yourself to that franchise, you owe it to yourself to stay with that franchise through all of its ups and downs. In order for you to love a game, to completely love a game, you must play it. You must have played it. You can watch it, like you can watch videos of it or see other people play it or whatever, or be told about it, but that only makes your mind love it. In order, and I'm talking over this dialogue, so I don't care to hear these guys, and neither should you. In order for you to love a game from the heart, you have to have played it, to have personally experienced it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone is on the different page about that. When we get to different pages, I'm walking over a blatant hole, not stepping through it. Cool. When we get to a different page is when we talk about the opposite effect, and something people don't really think about, but something I think about a lot. If you want to hate something, you can either hate it from the mind, or you can go a step further and hate it from the heart. I want to hate this game from the heart. And if I'm going to hate it from the heart, I have to personally experience it firsthand. I've seen full playthroughs of this game well before this. I know everything that has already happened up to this point and everything that will happen in this game. I know all of this stuff. The reason I'm playing it, even with no surprises, even with any of that stuff, is because I need to suffer through it. Because it's important to me as an Aliens fan to be able to say, I bit this bullet. I've been through this, and I can personally relate to the suffer that some people had to go through when this game came out. That's why we're here at all. So what are the ending results? Now that I've actually played through about half the game, and again, I know everything else that's coming up next, what are the results? Is the game as bad as everyone talked it up to be? Did I miss a dog tag there? I saw something blue flash, but it's gone now. I have not been going out of my way to collect the dog tag, so it's entirely possible I glanced over that one if there was one there to get. Anyways, is it as bad as it was made out to be? I've already gone on record of saying I hated it at several points in this video, so, I mean, that should tip you off. However, yeah, boogity, 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 scary, I don't care.
What the hell is going on? Power surge. Winter and O'Neill.
Oh no!
Sensor in the morgue just went offline. Figure out what happened to it and get back to operations.
Let's go fix it.
Maxwell out.
Gonna pull out the shotgun here in anticipation of what's gonna happen next. Yeah. Beeping me all you want. I know nothing's happening. Not until I play with this doohickey.
Winter, O'Neill, your location has been compromised. Get your asses back to operations ASAP.
Hello! I missed. I missed again. Didn't miss that time. They're gonna be right behind me. Yep. Sorry, O'Neill, but you're immortal. You can deal with it. The 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second is definitely messing with my accuracy. Yes, I'm blaming it on the game. I'd rather blaming it on Fraps. Cool. I'm just gonna leave and go back to operations, because I'd rather not focus on combat. Just wanted to make sure there was at least a little bit in the video to show you. I have been hunting aliens for a very, very long time, across many, many games, so... Oh! This is nothing new to me. The only thing that's new to me is Aliens Colonial Marines doesn't believe in scanner or helmet-based scanners, so I can't see what direction they're coming from, which is a significant disadvantage. If I die, I am not focusing on combat. I legitimately am going to use that excuse. I'm playing on Ultimate Badass difficulty, which is why we don't have a HUD to show our health or armor or any shenanigans like that. Oh no, we died. What a terrible tragedy that has befallen us. What was I talking about before that horrible tragedy that befell us? Is this game as bad as it was made out to be? Yeah, sort of. Apparently, I lived through that in this timeline. Cool!
I do, sir. We'll run and grab it. Roger that.
Thanks, game! You piece of garbage! Is Aliens Colonial Marines as bad as they made it out to be? Well, we have a couple of minutes left, so we have plenty of time to go through it in little ways. As soon as I pick this up, sometimes an alien pops in the door, and you can't do anything when you have it, so we just die. Not this time, though. We can go over things in bit-by-bit pieces. The gameplay, or the idea of it thereof, is solid. It's part of the reason why this exists at all. Oh, there we are. The idea of a USCM first-person shooter is a great idea, and a matter of fact, it's not new, not even close to new. Again, there have been Aliens vs. Predator games for a very, very long time, and there have been alien-focused first-person shooters as well, like the Alien Trilogy, which was a first-person shooter. Most of them have been part of the AVP universe, and I'm reloading way too much, but it's instinct. Even for me, it's a bad instinct. In this situation, I should know better. I don't like Hudson's pulse rifle very much, but I'm trying to get used to it anyways. I just like that it's green, but not the default green. I like the color scheme of the Space Marines, but again, I've been attached to these guys for a long time. I'm gonna die because I can't switch weapons right now. Yep, I'm dead again. Oh no. What a shame, I still really don't care. So the gameplay itself is a solid idea. The problem is the execution that Gearbox did. Really, I gotta go get the gun again this time? Whatever. The gameplay here isn't important. We've all seen this, and if you haven't seen this, cover your eyes and wish you didn't. See no more of this evil.
Follow me back. I got you covered.
Really? Do you now? The problem was Gearbox's execution. This game is infamous for its bugs, which many years later we would find out was actually the result of a single errorless line of code that even to this day Gearbox hasn't patched. I'm going to switch in combat here to my regular one that has a laser sight pointer on it. Because again, no targeting ridicule and ultimate badass difficulty, so I'm firing blind most of the time without it. The execution Gearbox did was terrible. The game is buggy, the game is choppy, the game is messy. Aliens will sometimes act slightly intelligently and then have moments of sheer stupidity. The game doesn't know how to balance its human companions like this with the aliens. There are times where they will just simply move past the ally, even if they're a lot closer, to get to the player character because they know the player character is more important, because they're not really programmed to have a great understanding of the difference. There is a certain execution method to... What? I'm confused. This is twice it's not letting me switch off my grenade in this scene. This could entirely be a bug. I'm playing Aliens Colonial Marines. Why is it not switching away from my grenades? It's switching away right now. Oh well.
I do, sir. We'll run and grab it.
Roger that.
Aside from the bugs, there are other parts about the gameplay that were poorly executed. Again, I still believe it was a mistake to take the sensor off of the HUD and off of the helmet, but they did that to add an artificial level of difficulty to the aliens, because again, they're too dumb to be normally comparable, and they did it to be able to throw more horror elements at the player, which does not make sense for the USCM at all. They would not tactically weaken themselves to make the situation scarier for them, but it's an Aliens video game, not an Aliens vs. Predator video game, so I'll allow it. The missions themselves are laid out relatively okay, but there are segments where an extreme difference in length of checkpoints is a little bit problematic, but for the most part, I have to give Gearbox credit that the checkpoints are laid out better than I've seen in some other games. As was infamously known, pretty much when the game came out, you kind of have to play on Ultimate Badass difficulty just to be able to get any kind of actual challenge from the game. And like even now, I'm playing on the difficulty that's considered harder than hard. I'm barely paying attention and choosing to rant about the video, and you can see how well I'm doing.
It's imperative we get the relay tower back up now to contact
So,
our
you know, not a good sign.
If it's just us in here. There is an access tunnel that should take you straight there. O'Neill, Winter, take the smart gun with you.
Outside of the gameplay, the story...
Get you to the relay tower. Copacetic?
The story is generic, and it feels very much like a ripoff of... oh, right, I have to pick up the smart gun. That's right. Whoopsie. The gameplay feels... Sorry, the story feels very reminiscent of the most recent Aliens vs. Predator game, the Marine campaign done by Rebellion Studios. Reminds me very, very much of that. A lot of the same plot elements, including somebody gets infected and you take them to like Wayland technology to get have it pulled out, and stuff like that. Very reminiscent of that. The characters, they would be endearing and likable if the game were better. Like O'Neill tries, he really tries, but just because of how dumb the AI is from time to time, it doesn't come through very well. Kind of like Fallout, where, I mean, you're supposed to love the dog and you end up hating him because he stands in doorways and gets you killed from time to time. It's sort of like that. O'Neill tries, but he just doesn't do a very good job of it. Weapons, I'm going back to gameplay here, I'm sorry. I wanted to say weapons don't always feel like they have a great impact. Especially like some of the shotguns or whatever. I can take several point-blank rounds to put things down. And I know I'm not shooting great in this video. Clearly, I've died several times, but even when I'm talking like genuine point-blank shots, and you still end up just losing, or I mean, they still end up not dying. I need to say, other than just the staleness and genericness of it. The story is mostly okay. What they've tried to invent is mostly okay. Really, the biggest problem with the story is the fact that they tried to make it a canonical sequel to Aliens, and then basically spat all over what happened in Aliens. It's kind of the same way Alien 3 spat over the same things that happened in Aliens. But we're on Haley's Hope right now, which shouldn't be possible because Haley Hope nuked itself. Characters, spoiler alert, characters who definitely died in the movie because you didn't see it, even though it was absolutely 110% implied, are somehow still alive in this game. Just, it's little things like that. Oh, hello, you. It's little things like that that they just completely insulted the story of Aliens. The part we're coming up on is very hard because O'Neill gets lost and you end up having to do it alone. And there's a new type of alien coming up here that's a real problem when you try to fight them alone. So O'Neill's just going to stand there pretty much. And we are nearly out of smart gun ammo, and we will be soon. There's a health kit in there, so at least we can heal up. I'm actually going to preemptively drop the smart gun. I know we're going over 20 minutes, but I have a couple of more things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to get to the point now where I start actually praising the game. This is the motion scanner, by the way, in case you wanted to see what it looked like. You have to hold it, and you can't fire. You sure you don't want to come along this time, O'Neill? Every time I've played through this, he gets stuck over here. 100% of the time. Every single time. I'd like him to come along, but he's not going to. I can't push him. Goodbye, O'Neill. I have to handle this part by myself, like every other time. Make sure my shotgun's fully loaded here. I do have things I want to praise about this game. That actually, to me, did not accurately show themselves during the videos that I saw, because at the time, people were too busy trashing the game. Rightly justified. People were too busy trashing it. The little positive things about this game just got completely overlooked. Something positive, and this isn't relevant to the gameplay, but it's not really relative to the story either. It's relative to aesthetics. Aesthetically, again, other than the big problems that it's like in Haley's Hope, I'm not talking about graphics or anything like that. Aesthetically, I'm not saying that word on YouTube right at all. The game is great. The cutscenes where you actually see, like, even your player character, like when you're walking around moving and doing things like that, it's all great. The characters are the right physical shape and wearing the right kind of equipment and the right layers of armor and all that stuff to really make it look like great Colonial Marine stuff. Some of the weakest problems with the Colonial Marine lore actually comes from the Aliens movie. That's sacrilegious to say, but I believe it. Pretty much every bit of USCM lore that came after Colonial Marines, after the movie, I have to start moving here because they're gonna not stop coming at this point, which is a problem. And then we're gonna have to deal with the special aliens down here. But pretty much everything after. I need to not be boxed in a corner. Pretty much everything that came after the movie. Again, I keep getting distracted here. I mean, what did I walk into alone because he hasn't come along yet?
Weapons hot, but don't fire if you don't have to. Lurker!
Hello, Lurker. It's a fast little snake, and it's going to hit me several times here. All you can do... Oh, hello! You're not a lurker, and once again, I can't change. There we are! By the way, my flashlight's off. It's over here. Hi, O'Neill. Welcome to the party. I'm glad you could join us. Everything after really kind of improved the USCM lore, and they really seem to have derived their idea of the Colonial Marines from that expanded lore instead of just making it from the movie, which was, in my opinion, a great choice. Yep. Oh, by the way, through a wall. In case you haven't noticed, this game is buggy.
One left.
Oh, I forgot those. I didn't get those the first time. Anyways, I keep not being able to stay on topic. The aesthetics of the Marines in this game are great, and I have an immense compliment to give to the dialogue. Even though the voice acting itself isn't anything to write home about, when characters talk, like O'Neill here, watch what happens when I back away from him.
Sir. Understood, 2-1.
Did you hear that?
Tracking your movements, and you're about 30 meters from the elevator. Roger that, sir.
There is a seamless, perfect transition between when the character is in an area that you can hear them talking, and when you back up to a point where they have to go over the intercom. That was a great idea. That is not sarcasm. It was an excellent thought for them to have that kind of system where instead of... we're at the end of the mission here, by the way. Or I think we are. No. Yes, we are. That was a great idea. I've played so many games where you walk away from the situation or whatever. Like, you walk away from the character speaking and you miss that bit of dialogue, or you can't hear it, or it's like it's just barely there. In this game, no matter where you go, you're going to hear the dialogue. You're going to hear it, and you're going to hear it loud and clear, which I think was a great thing they thought to do. Aesthetically, the game is great, and the weapons look great. I have a skin here on my pulse rifle, which is not very great, but all the new weapons they introduced that were not part of the lore or whatever beforehand, or at least not part of the common lore, all this stuff is great. It's all stuff that looks and fits like it is part of the universe. They really did get parts of this right. The problem is the core gameplay itself is so flawed and was sold on such lies and contempt that it just isn't worth it. It's still a bad game, but there are positives to it, and I have been sort of riffing my way through this the entire time I've been doing this. This is why I'm going a little slow with it, and riffing through it has been very enjoyable for me, regardless of the fact that this is such a bad game. It was very important for me to have this experience for myself, and the experience is going better than I could have hoped. It's become a situation where it's so bad it's started to become good, and not anything to do with the game's own merits. If I had played this game like a lot of people did when it first came out, I would be pissed off and righteously angry. Knowing all the problems going in, and seeing full playthroughs of it going in, and knowing all the stuff that's going to happen, has really allowed me to just kind of it's allowed me to already know the bad stuff that's going to happen, give me a little bit of clarity of mind to look for the good stuff, like the aesthetics that I really didn't see anybody complimenting. And it's good to be able to experience this game, and now I can truthfully speak from the heart. It's still a bad game, but if you're a big Aliens fan, if it's on sale, I mean, maybe it's probably more fun with friends. I hate to say I'm recommending this game, but if you are an Aliens fan, and you know people who are Aliens fans, and you can throw this game up on a television screen and don't even play it co-op, just play through it and make fun of it the whole way through, you're going to have an entertaining time, because I'm doing something very similar to that, and it's being very, very entertaining, because the game is bad, not because it's good. Without further ado, let's end this mission by getting ambushed. You ready? Oh no! My flashlight no work at all in this area. Gee, I wonder why. Oh no, big scary alien that didn't show up on my scanner that I'm armed with a shotgun and can't do anything about. Oh, thanks for the help, by the way, on the L. So, thank you all for watching. And the next time we're probably on this channel with a game so bad I really don't want to play it, it's probably going to be Duke Nukem Forever. Coincidentally, another Gearbox game. I need to play that game for similar reasons for this one. Although it'll probably be less riffable for me. I'll see you all later. Don't play this. It's bad. I didn't click next mission, thank you very much. I'm not watching this. I'll see you later. Take care and bye-bye.